Setbacks don't define you, they are only temporary pauses, not permanent labels. Your brokenness can become your greatest strength, shaping resilience and wisdom inside you. Real stories remind us that even from rock bottom you can rise and soar again. The very storms that look like they'll crush you can become the winds that lift you higher. Your scars are not marks of defeat, they are proof that you survived and kept moving forward. And remember this, true flight doesn't come from perfect wings, but from a heart that refuses to quit. Ladies and gentlemen, life doesn't always go the way we plan. We dream of soaring high, reaching new heights, and gliding smoothly through every season. But then setbacks come. A failure knocks us down, a relationship ends, a dream seems to shatter, and suddenly it feels like our wings are broken. We think we've lost the ability to fly, to move forward, to rise again. But here's the truth, even with broken wings, you can still fly. Your past mistakes don't define your future. Your failures are not your final chapter. Just because your wings have been bruised doesn't mean your destiny has been cancelled. Take the story of a man I once met. He had built a small business from scratch, pouring his heart and savings into it. For years he worked day and night, but one unexpected crisis wiped everything away. Not only did he lose his business, he fell into debt, and many around him whispered that he was finished. For a while he believed them, his wings felt broken, and it seemed impossible to rise again. But one day he made a choice. He decided that his brokenness was not going to be the end of his story. He took a small job, started learning new skills, and step by step, he rebuilt his confidence. That same man eventually launched a new business, one that grew far more successful than the first. Today, he often says, losing everything was the moment I found myself. His broken wings didn't stop him from flying. They taught him how to fly stronger. Your broken wings are proof that you've been through battles. They are reminders of your strength and resilience. Don't hide them. Don't be ashamed of them. Wear them as a testimony that you may have been hurt, but you're still here. You may have been knocked down, but you're still rising. Remember, the ability to fly isn't just about perfect wings, it's about a heart that refuses to quit. Failures, losses, or disappointments are not the end of your story, they are only chapters in your journey. Broken wings are not a sign of defeat, but proof that you're still alive and capable of rising again. Too often in life, we mistake a setback for a full stop. We go through a failure, face rejection, or lose something important, and we begin to believe that this is the end of our story. But the truth is this, setbacks don't define you. They are temporary pauses, not permanent labels. Just because you've been knocked down doesn't mean you can't get back up stronger than ever. Think about it. When an artist is painting, a few wrong strokes don't ruin the masterpiece, they become part of the design. In the same way, the failures and disappointments in your life aren't the final picture. They're only brush strokes, shaping something greater. Take the story of a woman who dreamed of being a writer. She poured her heart into her first book, only to have it rejected by dozens of publishers. Every rejection felt like a broken wing, convincing her she wasn't good enough. But instead of letting those setbacks define her, she kept writing. She believed that her story wasn't finished yet. Years later, that same woman became a best-selling author, inspiring millions with her words. Her rejections didn't define her, they refined her. What you've been through doesn't dictate where you're going. That failed relationship, that lost job, that opportunity that slipped away, none of those things get to write the final chapter of your life. They may slow you down, but they cannot stop you unless you let them. Remember this, your setbacks are setups for comebacks. The fact that you've been broken, hurt, or rejected only means that your story is still unfolding. Don't let the world label you by your failures. You are not what you lost, you are who you choose to become. Because setbacks don't define you, your determination, your faith, and your resilience do. The cracks in your wings don't make you useless. They shape resilience, wisdom, and inner strength. What once looked like weakness can become your greatest source of power. When we go through painful seasons, failure, loss, heartbreak, it's easy to believe we've been damaged beyond repair. We see our scars as reminders of weakness, our broken wings as proof that we can't soar again, but the truth is, brokenness can actually become your greatest strength. What feels like the end can be the very thing that prepares you for a stronger, brighter future. Think of the Japanese art of kintsugi. When pottery breaks, instead of throwing it away, artists fill the cracks with gold. The broken places become the most beautiful, most valuable parts of the piece. Your life is the same way. The cracks in your story don't diminish your worth, they add to it. There's a man I knew who went through a devastating divorce. He felt like his world had collapsed. His confidence was shattered, and his heart felt too broken to ever trust again. But over time, that pain taught him compassion. It made him more patient, more understanding, and more determined to build healthier relationships. Today, not only is he remarried with a loving family, but he also mentors others going through the same pain he once endured. What once broke him became the source of his strength to lift others. Your scars are not signs of defeat, they are badges of survival. Every tear you've cried, every challenge you've faced, every failure you've endured has built resilience inside of you. Brokenness doesn't mean you're finished. It means you're being refined. So instead of hiding your broken wings, let them testify to your strength. Wear them as proof that even in your weakness, you found courage. Because the very things that tried to break you can become the foundation of your greatest strength. Like the man who lost his business and was counted out by everyone, yet rebuilt from scratch and succeeded beyond his first dream real. Life stories show us that broken wings can still carry us higher. Sometimes, when life knocks us down, we wonder if we'll ever rise again. The pain feels so heavy, the loss so great, that it's hard to believe there's a future beyond the failure. But if you look around, there are countless stories of people who have risen from rock bottom, proving that broken wings still fly. One such story is about a young man who once dreamed of being an athlete. He trained hard, devoted his life to the sport, and just when he was on the edge of success, a severe injury shattered his career. Doctors told him he would never play again. For months, he spiraled into despair. His identity, his purpose, even his confidence all felt destroyed. But one day, he decided that his story wasn't finished. Though he couldn't compete professionally anymore, he began coaching kids in his neighborhood. What started small soon grew into a sports academy that changed hundreds of lives. Today, he looks back and says, "Losing my career gave me a greater calling." His story is proof that setbacks can redirect us towards something even more meaningful. Rising again doesn't always mean going back to what you lost. It can mean stepping into something better, something bigger than you imagine. Your life has the same potential. You may feel like the broken pieces are all that's left, but those pieces can be used to build something extraordinary. The fact that others have risen again is proof that you can too. So don't bury your dreams in despair. Don't believe the lie that it's over. If others have made it through, so can you. Their stories are reminders that your future is not behind you, it's ahead of you. And no matter how broken your wings feel today, you too can rise and fly again. Just as eagles use the storm's winds to soar above the clouds, your struggles can become the very force that elevates you. Instead of resisting the storm, learn to ride it. When storms come into our lives, our first instinct is to run, to hide, or to wish them away. We see the wind, the rain, and the chaos, and we think, this storm is here to destroy me. But storms don't always come to push you down. Sometimes they come to lift you higher. Think about the eagle. When other birds scatter and hide from the storm, the eagle does the opposite. It spreads its wings and allows the strong winds to lift it above the clouds. The very storm that could have crushed it becomes the force that carries it higher than it ever could have flown on its own. I once knew a woman who lost her job unexpectedly. At first, it felt like the storm had destroyed her security and her confidence. She cried, she worried, she questioned her worth. But during that season of uncertainty, she discovered passions she had ignored for years. She started her own small business from her kitchen table. What looked like the worst storm of her life actually launched her into a career she loved, one that gave her freedom, creativity, and success she never imagined. Today, she says, losing that job was the best thing that ever happened to me. Your storm may look overwhelming, but it could be the very thing that propels you into your purpose. Without that challenge, without that loss, without that difficulty, you might never have discovered your true strength. So instead of fearing the storm, learn to rise above it. Let the winds of adversity push you higher, because the storm you're facing is not meant to bury you, 'tis meant to carry you into the next level of your destiny. Your broken wings are not shameful, they are testimonies of survival. They tell the world that you may have been hurt, but you were never destroyed. Your scars shine as proof of courage. When we go through pain, loss, or heartbreak, we often want to hide the scars it leaves behind. We feel ashamed of our past, embarrassed by our failures, or afraid that people will only see our wounds. But scars are not signs of defeat, they are proof that you survived. Every scar tells a story, and every story has the power to inspire. Think of a soldier who comes home after a difficult battle. The scars on his body are not marks of weakness, but of courage. They say, "I've been through the fire and I'm still standing." In the same way, the scars of your life, whether from broken relationships, financial struggles, or personal failures, are reminders that you faced the storm and came out on the other side. I once heard about a woman who survived a serious car accident. The crash left her with physical scars that she once hated. She would cover them up, afraid people would stare. But over time, she realized that those scars told a powerful story. She had survived something that could have ended her life. Instead of hiding them, she began sharing her journey with others who were struggling with trauma. Her scars became her platform to encourage thousands, showing them that survival is possible. Your scars may remind you of pain, but they also remind you of strength. They say you were wounded, but not destroyed. You were knocked down, but not defeated. You've endured storms and still found the courage to keep moving forward. So don't hide your scars. Embrace them. Wear them as a badge of honor, as proof that broken wings still fly. Because every scar you carry is not a mark of shame, but a testimony of survival and resilience. Flying isn't about perfect wings, it's about refusing to quit. The heart that believes, persists, and keeps trying is the real force that makes broken wings soar. When we think about flying, we often picture perfect wings, strong, unbroken, flawless. But in life, true flight doesn't come from perfect wings, it comes from a determined heart. You may not have all the resources, all the opportunities, or all the support you wish you had. You may even feel broken in places, but if your heart refuses to quit, nothing can stop you from rising. I once read about a young man born with a physical disability. Doctors said he would never walk properly, much less live an active life. Many counted him out before he even began, but his heart told a different story. He chose not to let his condition define him. Step by step, with determination and grit, he learned to run. Years later, he not only competed in marathons, but inspired thousands of others with similar struggles. His wings weren't perfect, but his heart made him soar. What lifts you higher in life is not the absence of struggles, but the presence of faith, courage, and perseverance. A strong heart believes in possibilities even when the circumstances look impossible. A strong heart says, may be broken, but I'm not finished. I may be wounded, but I'm still moving forward. Your destiny isn't cancelled because of flaws or failures. The Creator didn't design you to stop at brokenness. He gave you a heart capable of rising above it. That's where true flight begins, so don't wait for everything to be perfect before you spread your wings. Start where you are with what you have. Let your heart lead the way. Because at the end of the day, true flight doesn't come from having perfect wings. It comes from a heart that chooses to believe, to endure, and to soar.